Am I the asshole for refusing to host Thanksgiving for 20 plus people for the fourth year in a row? So, my fiance has a rather large family: parents, two brothers with significant others, numerous adult nieces and nephews, and their parents, and there's usually always some distant aunt, uncle, or cousin that tags along. I have two family members that join holidays. This year, neither will be able to attend. Last year, one was present. So, for the past 4 years, I've been single-handedly cooking from scratch and hosting for both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So essentially, I've been cooking dinner for 20 people or so while my partner babysits a brisket in the smoker. There's a lot of logistics behind cooking for a large crowd. I start prepping the night before, cook all morning and afternoon, and by the time everything is done, I'm too exhausted to enjoy the food I cooked and eat. Last year, I requested that everyone attending brings one side dish or dessert. No one brought anything. I had a feeling that's what it was going to be, as no one mentioned what they're bringing, so I prepared for it anyway. I have never been thanked for hosting or cooking, literally by no one. All leftovers get picked over and taken home. Last year, I also had to cook the following day because there was nothing left to eat except some baked brie that my mother-in-law turned her nose up to, and I wanted to enjoy leftovers at least. This year, I told my partner that I have no intention of cooking. If he wanted to host, he can cater. His reaction was, "But that's our tradition. Can't you at least make some box stuffing or something?" And is planning on coming. My reaction was, "Nope, that's your tradition. I will not make boxed stuffing. And if they're planning on coming, you better put that catering order in." He has not spoken to me since. I also had to explain, and I shouldn't have to, that I haven't been feeling well. I finished an 8-month course of a pretty rough medication that dries out all the joints in your body. I've been achy and miserable, and I feel stiff when I overwork myself. So, am I the asshole for not wanting to entertain 20 plus people twice a year, every year? Edit. I have decided to possibly sit out Thanksgiving completely, buy a pre-made single-serving Thanksgiving dinner at the local grocery store that just needs to be popped in the oven for a while, and I'm going to watch the new Lady Gaga movie. Edit number 2. Guys, my partner found this post and sent me the link. Now apparently we're canceling everything because I'm venting to strangers on the internet. I guess he didn't like what he read. Oops. Am I the asshole if my kids found out I'm not their real mother and refuse to call me mom anymore? For context, I am 53 female and my kids are male and female, 26. They're twins. 26 years ago, I met an amazing guy at a wedding and we instantly clicked. It turned out he was recently widowed. His wife died during childbirth. Sometime later, her parents died in a car crash and she had no real family except them. I fell in love with him, Matthew, 30 then, now 55, and he with me. I had met his twin babies, Maybelle and Michael, by the third date and absolutely loved them and loved taking care of them. I always wanted to be a mom, but found out I'm infertile sometime before I met him. He popped the question a year later and we got married. Now, I love these kids so much that I formally adopted them when I got married. I have never, ever once felt or made them feel like they're not my biological children. My parents too have accepted them as their own grandchildren and have been the best Grammy and Grandpa to them. My husband made me vow on my wedding day that we would never tell the kids about their real mom. He didn't want to cause them the heartache he went through. Not just me, he made everyone, including his parents, my parents, our siblings, and extended family, vow that too. I, of course, didn't want that, but I went ahead with it under pressure. Since then, I've brought it up numerous times that we should tell the twins about their mom, but he always shuts me down. Once they turned 18, I told my husband that they were old enough to handle it and we should tell them. We tried, but we chickened out at the last moment. Fast forward to a month ago, at a family friend's wedding, some distant great aunt complimented Maybelle, saying she looked exactly like her mother. Maybelle laughed and said, "Oh, I don't think so, but thanks." The aunt then went on to clarify that she was talking about her real mother, not OP. Maybelle got confused but didn't say anything until the wedding was over. She then asked the aunt what she meant, and the aunt told her. A few days later, Michael and Maybelle came home for dinner and told me what the aunt had said. Tearfully, Matthew and I explained what she meant. I told them everything and even our reasons for hiding this fact. We showed them pictures and gave them all the trinkets and photos my husband had saved of her for the twins. They both lost it at the table. They screamed at me for hiding such a big truth. I accepted my mistake and said that I hoped they'd find it in them to forgive me. They went on to say that they would never call me mom again since I stole this name that rightfully belonged to their actual mother. I tearfully snapped and said that it wasn't fair because I treated them like my own children and never once made them feel like I wasn't their real mother. As far as they were concerned, they were my own children. I raised them and took care of them. Like now, a real mother, and deserved to be treated like one. Now they won't even talk to me. So, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for pressing charges against an 18-year-old girl? I have a 17-year-old son who has a girlfriend and an ex. My son also has a car. I think you can see where this is going. My son dumped his ex-girlfriend because he began to have feelings for another girl. He spoke to me and I made sure to tell him to dump her lightly and not to hurt her feelings before trying things out with the other girl. He did, telling ex why she was being dumped. Obviously, the ex was not happy. She ended up keying my son's car. I'm talking to the point where it is completely effed up. She carved my son's new girlfriend's name onto the doors and called her a slut. She also drew a man with a very small penis and labeled it my son's name. She also broke one of the windows out and poured a soft drink into it. I came home as she was pouring in the soft drink into the car, and immediately I called the cops. The ex got arrested and had to pay bail. Honestly, I'm feeling like pressing charges because it's my son's first car and we don't want to spend much money on a new car. The ex's mother came to my house and was full on screaming about how I'm a monster for calling the cops on a black girl and how my son cheated and deserved to have his car ruined. I don't feel in the slightest bit bad for pressing charges and ruining this girl's life because she's acting like a complete psycho. So, am I the asshole for pressing charges against an 18-year-old girl? Am I the asshole for not letting my son be in a photo that my daughter was not allowed in? I have two kids, a 16-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son. My daughter is one of the few girls on my husband's side of the family. He has 4 brothers. Out of them, only one of them has daughters. The rest of his brothers have sons. One of my husband's brothers, Jim, in the past has made a big deal of taking a picture of just the guys at family parties. He'll also take a big family group shot, but then insists on a photo with just them, and that's often the one he hangs up in the house and shares all over social media. My daughter didn't care when she was younger, but 2 years ago, she said that she felt left out and found the whole thing kind of... I asked Jim if we could stop doing the guys group shot, and he agreed. We haven't seen much of each other since then because of the state of the world. We recently all got together at a different brother-in-law's, not Jim, house as we're vaccinated and healthy. Nearing the end of the gathering, Jim asked my daughter and niece to move out of the way so he could take a photo of just the guys. My daughter said that was kind of stupid and asked why they couldn't be in the picture. Jim said it was important to him. I asked, why does it matter who is in the frame? We're all family. Jim said he just wants a photo of the men of the family. I told my daughter to move, but then also told my son to step out of the frame. Jim asked why I was doing this, and I said he can't exclude one of my kids. It's not like he also takes a picture of the women of the family alone. He's purposefully leaving them out, and that's not nice. After some back and forth, my husband said, let's just go, and we left the party. No pictures taken. My son agreed with me and said he doesn't find it fair that his sister and girl cousins can't be in the picture. My husband is on our side, but said I should have let it go for the sake of the argument. My brother-in-law posted on Facebook that he was happy to see everyone, but he wishes he could have gotten a family picture. So, am I the asshole for not letting my son be in a photo that my daughter was not allowed in?